The waves of anxiety rise and fall within us like unseen tides, shifting beneath the calm surface of our daily lives. You can't always see them, but you can feel them. The tightness in your chest, the restlessness in your breath, the invisible weight that sits behind your ribs. Most people spend their lives trying to silence this current, to fight it, to suppress it. Yet what if anxiety was never an enemy to be slain, but a teacher waiting to be understood? Anxiety cuts deep like the edge of a master's sword. It's sharp, relentless, and honest. It reveals where we are unprepared, where we still cling to comfort, where our spirit trembles at uncertainty. At first it feels like punishment, but perhaps it is initiation. Every great warrior must first face the tremor in their own hands before they can control the blade. The question is not how do you kill anxiety, but how do you transform it? Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai, philosopher, and author of the Book of Five Rings, lived this transformation. His story is not only one of battles and victories, but of inner chaos, silence, and transcendence. Before he became the master, he was a boy lost to the world. Orphaned, restless, and shaped by conflict, he was forced to meet fear face to face before he could ever learn mastery. His journey shows that anxiety, when understood, can become the fire that tempers the soul. Musashi was born in a time of chaos, 16th century Japan, the Sengoku period, when war consumed the land. He lost his father early, was cast out into exile, and grew without guidance. There was no comfort, no protection, no path already carved for him. Yet isolation became his teacher. Deprived of mentors, he learned from nature. Denied safety, he learned adaptability. Every uncertain day trained him to live with impermanence, to breathe with instability instead of resisting it. Modern psychology mirrors his truth. A Stanford University study found that people who face early adversity often develop greater resilience and adaptability. They learn to survive by becoming fluid, capable of growth in places others collapse. This was Musashi's gift. He did not run from fear, he studied it. Every anxious thought became a lesson in awareness. Every restless night was a forge, burning away weakness and leaving only steel. He discovered that anxiety is energy, and energy, when directed, becomes power. As Musashi's reputation grew, so did his discipline. He trained not only his sword but his mind. He studied rhythm, emotion, the subtle shifts in energy that precede movement. He observed his own fear, not to destroy it, but to refine it. He realized that anxiety sharpens perception. It forces you to see, to sense, to anticipate. Where others froze, he moved. Where others hesitated, he flowed. His battles were won not through brute strength, but through mental stillness shaped by the very fear that once threatened him. Harvard neuroscientists have since proven what Musashi knew centuries ago, that moderate anxiety heightens focus and precision. It prepares the mind for action. It awakens awareness. Anxiety is not weakness, but readiness. The body becomes alert, the mind sharpens, the senses expand. It is the same heightened state that allows a swordsman to move before thought, an archer to release without hesitation, a monk to act without doubt. Musashi turned this state into his way of life. He didn't deny anxiety, he balanced it. That balance became his greatest weapon. He created the legendary two-sword style, Niten Ichi Ryu, a dance between offense and defense, chaos and control, fear and courage. Two swords, two energies, one strikes with instinct, the other steadies with reason. Together they form harmony. Musashi realized that fear without discipline is panic, but discipline without fear is arrogance. Mastery lies in the middle, where anxiety fuels awareness without consuming it. Researchers at Oxford University now describe this balance as relaxed alertness. It's the state of calm readiness, the ability to act under pressure without losing clarity. The most resilient minds do not eliminate fear, they move with it. Musashi lived that truth long before science named it. He didn't overcome anxiety, he integrated it. It became part of his rhythm, the heartbeat beneath his precision. Fear was no longer a shadow, It was the pulse of awareness guiding his every motion. But Musashi's greatest transformation happened in solitude, not in combat. After countless duels, he withdrew from the world, into forests, mountains, and caves. There, in silence, he confronted himself. He meditated, trained, and listened to the echoes of his mind. Every anxious thought became a dialogue, every fear, a mirror. He didn't run from discomfort, he invited it closer. In isolation, he discovered that stillness is not the absence of movement, but the perfect mastery of it. Neuroscience at Cambridge University confirms this ancient truth. Studies show that intentional solitude reorganizes neural networks, improving emotional regulation and insight. It strengthens the mind's ability to process tension. Musashi practiced this through meditation and physical austerity. Solitude was not escape. It was refinement. He understood that you cannot control the chaos of the world until you have mastered the chaos within. He trained in extremes: rain, snow, wind, darkness. He chose hardship over comfort, unpredictability over control. Why? Because comfort breeds weakness. Ease dulls the edge of the spirit. In discomfort, you find your truth. Researchers at the University of Michigan call this process stress inoculation. Exposure to controlled adversity builds endurance and focus. It strengthens the nervous system and sharpens the will. Musashi understood this centuries earlier. His dojo was the world itself. His lesson: adapt or dissolve. Nature became his teacher. The river taught him flow. The wind taught him flexibility. The storm taught him presence. He realized that anxiety is not a mistake of nature. It is nature's call to awaken. Every challenge, every moment of unease was a doorway into greater awareness. Anxiety, he saw, is life reminding you that you are alive. The heart races not to frighten you, but to remind you of your potential for focus and transformation. His writings in the Book of Five Rings reveal this understanding. He speaks of rhythm, emptiness, and timing, concepts rooted not in violence but in perception. The true warrior does not seek victory over others, but over the parts of himself still enslaved by fear. The way of the sword is the way of the spirit. Each battle is internal before it is external. The duel before the duel happens in the mind. That is where fear is faced, and mastery begins. Modern psychology names this process post-traumatic growth, the ability to transform pain into purpose. A professor at the University of Pennsylvania found that those who reinterpret anxiety as guidance, not threat, experience higher fulfillment, creativity, and mental resilience. Musashi embodied this entirely. He didn't suppress emotion, he transmuted it. Fear became foresight. Restlessness became drive. Anxiety became awareness. His life was a study in how the same emotion that paralyzes some can liberate others when met with discipline and stillness. So what about you? When anxiety rises, do you resist it or listen to it? The trembling in your chest, the unease in your thoughts, they are not signs of weakness. They are signals that something within you is awakening. They are proof that you care, that your spirit is alive, that your life still demands something of you. Instead of pushing it away, breathe through it. Let it sharpen you. Let it guide you toward what you've been avoiding. Every fear hides an invitation to mastery. Musashi's path teaches us that the goal is not to silence anxiety, but to understand its rhythm. The body reacts, the heart races, the mind tightens, and beneath it all, awareness watches. That awareness is who you truly are. The warrior learns to stay rooted in that awareness even when everything else trembles. That is what it means to be still in the storm. That is where mastery begins. So the next time anxiety visits you, bow to it. Acknowledge its presence. Let it remind you that you are alive, that growth is near, that the forge is burning and you are inside it. Don't escape the heat. Let it temper your steel. For anxiety is not your enemy. It is your training partner. The energy you fear most is the same energy that will carry you toward your highest self. Musashi turned his anxiety into a blade of insight. You can too. When the mind quivers, return to your breath. When fear rises, hold your ground. When the heart pounds, let it beat in rhythm with purpose. The waves will come and go, but you are the ocean beneath them. You do not drown. You learn to flow. In every moment of unease lies the doorway to greatness. Musashi walked through it. So can you. For the battle you fear is not against the world. It is against your own hesitation. And once you master that, no storm can shake you. Train your mind. Master yourself. Walk the dojo path.